right. Here we go.
It's simple.
Yo, 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 yo. It is Item Most High. I'm with my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's going on with you, brother?
What's up? And we are the Underground of Professional Wrestling Podcast. As he said, I am Chitty Bang. He's the most high, and the most guy got a most high haircut. It's not high anymore. It's low, real low. Up in this bitch, man. RW, checking out some RW Podcast One for us on Twitter. Check us on Reba Wrestling Podcast on IG, Facebook, TikTok. And if you're here on YouTube joining us, thank you. If you're here on SoundCloud listening to us, thank you for being so committed and listening to our voices every single week here on this podcast. What number are we on today?
Episode 184, I believe.
184, guys. We've been doing it 184 times here for your listening and viewing pleasure. Now, Chris, how about you? How are you doing? Because you got the cut, you got the freaking headband, you looking like old school, like 2018 Chris out here in this bitch on the Wrestling Podcast. If y'all go down and look at all our videos, that's how we started this shit. The headband.
I just had to. Nah, man. Honestly, realistically, I look unkept a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like that ass. Like I look like nobody loves me. You know what I'm saying? Look like I ain't had no bitch. I look like I had no house. I look like I had no money. Well, shit, I don't have no money, but listen. Nah, man, I was looking unkept, unruly. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I didn't mind getting my hair braided. I didn't mind, even going to the salon a few times, getting a silk press. You know what I'm saying? I did it up.
That was dope.
But to be honest, man, it's a mentality, right? You said it. We haven't talked. You don't know. You was like, oh, that's 2008. And that's where my mind kind of been at. Like, I just had to, get back into something that just felt a little bit like me, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Back in your element, man.
The growing of the hair was, I won't say it's a fade or a fad. I was just a time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, had my kids, the pandemic, niggas wasn't really going outside. Didn't have to motherfucking clean up a little bit. Now, shit getting back to, you know what I'm saying? So,
you look so much younger, even with the haircut. But imagine if you cut the beard. I remember one time you showed up without the beard because you said you go see your grandma, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this? Yeah. I've never known this guy before." Yo, he looks like a freaking baby.
Yeah, but niggas not fucking with that at all. Brother. Listen, my wife was like, "Don't you fucking do that."
But shout out to new you 2023 Chris bringing it back, the old school joint, low cut. Listen, man, now that you cut your hair, I gotta grow mine out, and that's why I got the do-rag on for the past 3 weeks because I ain't kept. I ain't I look like I ain't got nobody that loves me. Listen, but hey, that period where you're growing your hair out and this shit's just rough. Yeah, I'm in that spot. It's probably gonna get even more rough. But we'll not see my hair for like a good month, couple months right now. But right now we're not here to talk about our appearance. I know you guys love our beautiful faces and hairstyles, but here we're talking about wrestling. And we had another great week of wrestling. I feel like this podcast has evolved so much over the years because from when we started this just complaining about Raw every single week to now where we're like giving praise every single week to SmackDown, Raw, AEW. And I don't think I do. At the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't taking back anything I said. That shit was right back then. We were right.
We was right. Bobby Lashley was showing his ass. We didn't see no black people on TV. It was not a black champion to be seen on that motherfucking like dead ass. in 2018, in 2018, 2019, we were struggling as wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. Like we was grasping at things like NXT was just our baby and shit like that.
Yeah, NXT was where was that.
Even then, like the women had to evolve from. Listen, I've been at Full Sail. I've been at the CWC. It's only 250 people in that motherfucker. You understand? 300. Mm-hmm. Nigga, you can't just get over with that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit gotta be able to travel. That shit gotta be able to translate. Yeah. That shit gotta be able to, like, you can get stuck down in NXT. So I can understand how us as fans love something because we was like, yo, if you here, we know that you're in this bubble. You're in this realm. You're like, we like you, and so do the other 300 people like you, and we can cheer for the right people and boo for the right people. But when we go on a road, 20,000, 15,000, 17, it's different people. We don't like the same shit.
But what was cool about that era though, like they were getting over. Like it was multiple people that were getting over at a time. Saying. And the main roster was where everything was fucking up. You know, we would have nights where Raw or SmackDown would come on, and we would rather be with our girls. You know, just talking on the phone. You know, he didn't even have kids. He wasn't married yet. Like, you know, me, I would rather be my girl at the time, just, you know, on my freaking twin bedroom getting some ass or something like that. I was like, rather than watch Raw. You know, like shit was like, you know, Raw was like.
Trinidad, it was trash.
It was bad. It was bad.
And,
yes.
And we were complaining. And I was like, listen, I'm like, yo, Chidi, if we're gonna do this, I want to be something different than other podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to argue. I mean, I didn't want to fight, argue, complain, bitch and moan. Like, I wanted us to come and accentuate what we like. I want us to highlight the lowlights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the production element. Like, I was like, let's give it something different analysis because they wasn't really giving us much. You know what I'm saying?
They were not.
So now, here we are, 4 years into this. We can actually get back to the basics. Like, that's why I cut the hair, just so we can get back to what the high spot of the week was, the high spot of the motherfucking night was. Like, and I would say right now, because usually what we do on Thursdays, because AEW has been so good, we would talk about the latest thing that we saw. But you started off by saying the things that we used to complain about. So let's compliment the beginning of the fucking week, Monday Night Raw. That shit was litty. Go ahead and take it off, GD.
I mean, Monday Night Raw, I think that it made me feel like an old Raw show back in like the early 2000s, 90s, in a sense. Now, one thing I like about WWE, when they do it right, is when they have a heel faction. Like that reigns supreme over the roster. We've had, DX, we've had Nation of Domination, we've had the ministry, you know, we had the corporate ministry, the corporation, what else? Evolution, like all types of factions that have going all the way to Nexus, you know, on beyond Wyatt family. When they have like wreaked havoc on the entire roster, it gives an atmosphere of impending doom threat that everybody got to rally behind. Even with the alliance, all that stuff that happened with that, it gives like a storyline for your entire show. Your entire company has a storyline now because there's this big threat that is looming over everybody else, even the authority with Dan Ryan and all that stuff. So I think that's when WWE is at its best, in a sense, where there's a heel faction that is reigning supreme. Now, do I think that should always be the case? No. I think there are times where it should just be, you know, single stars, you know, just going out there having matches and saying who's the best, you know. But right now, we have the Bloodline, who are on SmackDown primarily, because that's where Roman is and the Usos. But we've seen over the past couple of months, like I've been saying, there is no real brand split. It's not strict if there is one, you know. And we've seen KO on SmackDown multiple times. And I've said it on the podcast like multiple times, like, yo, KO's on SmackDown all the time. We're talking about no brand split. Usos on Raw all the time. And then he's like, oh, but the Usos have a Raw Tag Team Championship. But I'm like, bro, like, let's keep it real. You know, Street Profits is on SmackDown. Like, there's been really, like, it's just loosely, you know, split where people can come and go when necessary. And I don't mind it. I actually prefer it like this. I don't mind it. Let's just be real, though. That's what I was saying. We finally got it addressed in a sense this Monday, where Roman comes out and he says, "Yo, KO." Well, first of all, we can rewind back to SmackDown, where he says we have a KO problem. He gave the stunner to Solo on Raw last week. He says we want to take out KO, get him out of our hair officially, and he's testing Sami Zayn's loyalty still to say, listen, you're not a full blown Uso yet because we got to get rid of your former best friend. And now we got this tag team match set up with John Cena and KO for this SmackDown tomorrow against Roman Reigns and Sami
Zayn.
Is it
this SmackDown or is it end of the year SmackDown? I thought.
Oh, wait a minute, we got another week.
No problem, because I'm like,
you're right.
You announced Cena, and we still gotta like. I would have loved again. I'm sorry to repeat myself.
No, go ahead.
The same promo that we had last Friday. You gotta find a partner. It's really hard for you to find a partner, KO. And you beat KO ass. You go every week or every show to where KO at. You go to live shows. You document it. You just beat KO ass and you beat the roster ass because don't nobody want a team. And then the final SmackDown before the SmackDown or final Raw before SmackDown at the end of the year, Cena pops up. He's like, we just needed one more.
I agree with you.
Ass beating before we got Cena to come out. You know what I'm
I was happy to see Cena back. Excuse me, my nose is a little stuffy, but yeah, I was happy to see Cena back. But at the same time, I think they could have done better. The execution could have been better to line it up a little bit more rather than just showing up. I think there was a miss. There was a missed flight by KO or something. He had some kind of travel issue last week, and that's why he wasn't at SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And they had to figure out something. All right, how do we push this angle forward with just Roman Reigns? And they did that whole thing situation. So it is a little bit choppy for a reason. But nonetheless, Roman showed up on Raw and with the Usos, Solo, and they were wrecking shop, man, beating up Mustafa, beating up Shelton, beating up Dolph, beating up AJ Styles. All night they were pulling up and trying to just take over the Raw roster, the home of KO, just to, show him that, listen, man, you can show up over here, well, we can show up over there, and we're not just coming for your head, we're coming for everybody. So just let you know, to assert our dominance over this roster, to remind y'all of who is in charge here. We are the island of relevancy. We are the bloodline, and we are in control here, and we can do whatever the hell we want. And I loved it because what happened was later on in the night, where there was a promo between Austin Theory and Seth, was another great promo. It's cut short. That whole angle, which is a separate angle entirely, is cut short because this is also seeping into their rivalry. Why the Usos come in and they're ready to attack. I loved. And then after that, KO came in for the save. I said the tag match between Seth Rollins and the Usos that night, which is I like the way the flow of the show was pretty much. The show just flowed.
Let's pause on, just stop one time on the Seth Rollins of how he got involved, right? Seth Rollins got involved with this angle because as Seth Rollins is in a program with Austin Theory, he inserts himself into the island of relevancy by mentioning the bloodline's name. Now listen, we ain't come for you, Seth. We came for KO. But once you said our motherfucking name, cuz now we gotta pull up on your ass. So Seth Rollins thought that he was gonna get off scot-free. He thought that he was gonna say that Roman was scared of him while Roman and the niggas was there.
Yo, you can't do that. Yo, you know who you know where you at. You know where you know who's back. Yeah. And I feel like
I don't care if we're in Iowa. You're gonna have to send a whole state to come fuck with us.
In his own state. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
We came to your hood.
To your hood, yeah.
Your city, and we shut that shit down, nigga. All because you opened up your motherfucking mouth.
Listen, man. Yeah, you didn't have to say nothing, but the whole night, man, it just had a flow to it. And I think that's what, as wrestling fans, we seek in our shows of wrestling is like, listen, we want to be able to sit down on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday and be like, no, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and say, and like just release ourselves from the world, enjoy a show from beginning to end, and not feel like, damn, I'm wasting time right now. This is dragging. Oh, this is boring, and waste, feeling like which we had to do and sucker it up and just eat for like a good 3-4 years in WWE, and every now and then we'll like take our, we'll get a bone thrown here or there. Kofi winning, championship, or Daniel Bryan, getting a championship. Like,
Sasha and Bianca,
Sasha, certain things, and then we're like, okay, there's progress. But now it seems like every week I can see there's like an effort to the show, like, and that's what I feel like is there. And there was a rumor about Vince coming back last week, and that we didn't really touch on. But I'll tell you right now, if Vince comes back, I can't watch that shit that he put out anymore. And I hope, like, obviously, I know he has another court case coming up, but another allegation happened that the Washington Journal posted. So hopefully it's just a rumor. But I think Triple H and his guys and have done a great job of just having congruency with the show, to the similar to the point of where even when there's a situation where you have Matt Riddle having his issues and they're using him to put him out of business, they use the bloodline Solo to put him out of business, where there's the inbred storyline for when he comes back with Solo. Meanwhile, you got Elias, who needs to now enlist the help of KO, who KO early in the year was getting tormented by freaking him and his fake ass brother, Ezekiel, and he didn't forget it. But in WWE back in the day, they would just like move on as if like these things didn't happen. But that one promo with KO and Elias backstage summed it up. Like, listen, I need your help. He's like, listen, aren't you the same guy? Like, I didn't forget. And another thing about KO, he didn't even forget about Seth Rollins. And when he teamed up with him, he didn't forget that Seth Rollins tried to take his WrestleMania spot. And that makes me feel like you're not trying to insult my intelligence at the show. A lot of times I'll come back on the show and like, yo, don't piss on me and tell me it's right. And then you're like, yo, Cheaty, it's just wrestling. It's been like this forever. I'm like, no, man, like I can't just take it. Like I got to speak on it. That's why I have this podcast, to speak on the absurdity of certain things. But what I'm seeing is that they don't look at us as stupid fans. And that's what I appreciate more than anything. And it was a great Raw, all in all.
Well, I would just say this too. Again, you want to talk about shit we talked about 3-4 years ago. Let's talk about shit we talked about 3-4 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, 3-4 months ago, we talked about the change of Vince to Triple H, and you said, I want to actually see the change.
Yeah. And here we are. I said, take me to the end. I said, I'll know by Royal Rumble. Remember I said that? I said, I'll know by Royal Rumble. And I think it took me actually less than that time.
Exactly.
To really see that.
Exactly.
Right. This is different.
And I think that's, we talk about, a lot of people underestimate, you know what I'm saying, because it's a buzzword now, right? Culture, impact, and shit like that. But like, look at your Jets. Look at Robert Saleh. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's installing a culture. Look at Dan Campbell. He's installing a culture. I was listening to Dominique Foxworth podcast, and he said when he played with the Ravens, they didn't do no hand claps, no ass taps. You know what I'm saying? When you did something fucked up, you know how niggas be like, my bad. You couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? When you do something good and you slap ass, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a culture that's just ingrained. And I bring that into wrestling because there's a culture shift as far as like the top. You know what I'm saying? Between Stephanie, Nick Khan, Triple H, right? They all are congruent, right? Of where we going with this. Nick is like, look, man, I can bring you more billions. Stephanie is like, well, shit, we need more billions. And Triple H is just like, well, shit, I just want to do this wrestling shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, when it's not just falling on like, again, culture. Jerry Jones, I'm a Cowboys fan. The culture of a octogenarian, my nigga, right? You 80 years old, you white, you a fucking billionaire. You don't listen to nobody, nigga. You don't get input from nobody. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if my son there. Stephen Jones is there, and you know what I'm saying? I make the fucking decisions. So I can, like, the culture, you can see that as different, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's important for us to, again, when we came on here, I was like, yo, I would like to not, again, complain all the time about what we're watching, because we spending our time to watching. If we don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Like, no, nigga, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to say what I don't like about what I'm watching. And I had to, like, really internalize that and, like, well, that's just how, again, we are one of the 17,000 fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all came This ain't NXT where we all think alike or we all accept the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody's different. Everybody's fan different things and have different
Exactly.
issues. Like there's a lot of fans that didn't see a problem with like the representation of black people, and I didn't know that they didn't get it, but we did. And then obviously if you're not black, you're not going to see it probably. But over time we start to see and appreciate for what they have given us. Right now, we got so many people that we can
We got a
we call
strong women's champion.
strong women champion. Yeah, the strongest I've seen in a long time.
Strong S.
Yeah, strong S. No pun intended.
I want to comment on that too. Like that program with Alexa, we hear okay. As wrestling fans, yes, we are marks. We are fan fiction. We create our own world. We think it's again, we're not as unique as we think we are. But in a time where WWE or wrestling, we weren't receiving the things that we want. Nigga, we done booked Bianca and Sasha. We booked Bianca winning the Royal Rumble. We booked Bianca versus Alexa as a filler into the Royal Rumble with Bianca and
yeah.
It's a lot of things that we are saying that we want to see, and them niggas like, okay, we'll give it to you.
It's cool because it's like not like forced, like what I mean, like it doesn't feel like they're just shoving Alexa in here. No, it feels like they've been planning this over the past couple months. They've been teasing it with the Bray logo. They've been putting little details of like, yo, Bray's influence is getting to her, even though he's not even on the same roster as her. And if you know the backstory, it's cool. If you don't know the backstory, you're like, okay, what was that?
And you're asking questions. Too. Alexa said it straight, like, listen, we ain't talking about this nigga no more. we talking about me. You know what I'm saying?
Word up.
We gotta talk about this nigga like, yeah, this nigga left some fucked up trauma shit with me, but I'm dealing with this shit right now. This is me, nigga. And the Bray ain't here, Bray, and she dead ass said Bianca straight, like, look, I won titles before you and Bray. And Bianca, like shit, will try to take this one. And goddamn, Alexa, smack that bitch upside the head with a face.
And this is interesting because like it just adds an element of like unpredictability to this angle, which you don't know what's gonna happen. Shit. And Alexa she ain't gonna slouch. She's trying to set it straight. I ain't just some guy who some newbie. She's a veteran who's been champion, who's been to the top, and she's coming for the belt again. She's not necessarily talked about like the 4 horsewomen all the time, but she has been here just as long, almost, and she has done as much as them, and I think that sometimes we don't recognize that as much.
Well, and that goes back to in the moment during the time when Alexa was on. We as fans, not just you and I, we as fans as a collective was like, damn, we getting tired of Alexa. You know what I'm saying? Because she was the replacement of the 4 horsewomen. As we saw, right? Sasha's out making movies. Sasha want her to do. Sasha's a boss, right? Sasha just, like she said, I eat steak just like Vince McMahon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a boss. We got Charlotte. She's also an entity within herself. Becky became an entity in herself. And then you have Bayley, who's a consistent, constant worker that is someone that gets overlooked as well. When building Alexa had to go through Becky on SmackDown in 2016. She had to go through Bayley. Like, she had to put those women down to establish herself.
Yeah, and she did it in a hard time in that era where the competition was fierce, and now granted, I think that they've pushed her because she has this look and she's, 5 Feet of Fury, the stuff that she did with Nia. I loved it all, and she has a great character on screen. She knows her character and she has a great way of presenting herself. So with this level, where she's at now, what I like about Alexa is that we've seen an evolution of that, and she's constantly evolved. And I think that is really how you stay relevant in this business, is evolved. And she's been that way. And I got to give it to her. As much as you want to talk about Alexa not being one of the 4 horsemen, she has a legacy that is damn near Hall of Fame worthy already, but we'll see how things go for the future.
I think it is.
Exactly, and and she's building on that with the new talent. And her and Bianca haven't had an angle like this, so it's good to see them link up now. Um, and like I said, the unpredictability of it all. But speaking of the woman, I gotta touch on something with the other four horsemen that you just mentioned, Becky and Bailey. Um, man, I think under the radar of all this going on, they're having a really good story, a really good program without a title. And I think that being a veteran, sometimes like the Alexas and the Four Horsewomen have been with the new people we see, like the Rheas and Biancas, and we want to see what Ronda can do over there with Liv Morgan. We kind of like expect them to be great, and then we like, oh well, that's just Bailey and Becky doing their thing. But if you look at what they've done over the past month or so, she came back to fight against Damage Control, and they had War Games. And Bailey, like I said, I wanted to see Becky and Bailey. What I didn't know that they were going to do is really tie in their history and paths to this point. And if you're paying attention, now they're not making this a primary angle on Raw, guys. This hasn't been like promo packages and all that. It's just been Bailey and Becky on the mic, couple run-ins here and there, and that's it. But the promos itself speak more to who they are and who they've been in to this women's division than I've seen from anything out of it's very relative to what is going on with them and their stories to this point. Becky's angle against Bailey is you need help. You always need somebody around you. You've always needed to be special. You need somebody around you to get to the top, to be where I'm at. I don't need nobody. I did some bad things too when I was a heel, but no, I did it all by myself, and I stand on that. But Bailey's argument is like, no, this is not about me. I see the bigger picture. This is about more than me. I'm bringing up newer talent, and this is about the future. I've always cared about all the women, and you only care about yourself because you're selfish. And I thought that their promos during these past couple of weeks have been stellar, and I think that has sneakily gone on the radar because it has some depth to it. Because there's so much going on, obviously. But when there's so much going on in wrestling that's good, I don't ever want to just like skim past something that and not take it for and take it for granted for what I'm seeing. And then they had a good match on Raw. Bailey got the victory through some interference, of course, but that's a quick angle right there over the past couple of weeks that's going to hold us over to the Royal Rumble that had substance to it, and I can't just ignore that.
Well, the substance more. I mean, to just dive deep into it. I mean, the substance just goes back to SummerSlam, right? This is long-term booking. After Bianca and Becky had a great match, after a storytelling that a lot of, like, again, we say, hey, wait for the crescendo of this, right? We thought Bianca, we thought the beginning of Bianca and Becky was trash. 26 seconds, take the title off of Bianca. Like, what are you doing? You let that build out. The whole story of Bianca and Becky, they had a banger. SummerSlam kicked off fire, and boom, Bailey, Damage Control of Dakota Kai, and Io Sky make their debut. When they make their debut, it instantly turned Becky, who was already slowly turning, and solidifying her into a baby. And as you know, like you said, if you're paying attention, Bianca and Becky linked up to take on Damage Control. That's how we get they injure Becky.
Yeah, they take her out.
That's how we get Alexa. That's how we get Asuka back. But that's how we get more eyes like Alexa, who's like, I ain't never really been in no tag, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming to help you to preserve my chances of getting this championship. Because I know that, that's how it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
So the whole tie-in thing of every fucking woman on the roster of importance, right? They're making every woman seem important. And everything is kind of looping together, right?
Exactly.
After Bianca and Becky, it was Bianca and Bailey. After Bianca and Bailey, it's Bianca and Bliss. And in between there, you had Bliss, Bailey, Becky all working together. War Games was crazy. Like, this shit was nuts, bro. Like,
yeah,
the interweaving of stories to one story it's akin to the multiverse, right? Where you can have multiple stories from multiple different parts of
The same,
same
environment, the same, setting. Yeah.
and make it show, right? And I think this universe where we talk about Raw and SmackDown, where you say there is no blurred lines, or there were no distinct lines, and where I mean, what did you want them to say? Do you want it to go back to where SmackDown used to be just a Raw recap? You know what I
I
mean?
want you to know something. It's not that I wanted them to say anything. I'm coming on the podcast and telling our audience and ourselves, like, let's be real. Let's just talk. Let's shooting the shit. Like, there's no real like brand split if they're popping up on different shows. It just is what it was. But at the end of the day, like they got Omos and Braun Strowman, they linked up. It's not a brand split. For a whole main event. So. At the end of the day, I like it. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying this is what it is. Let's be real.
I do want to think that I do want to bring into this some business and logic into this, right? I do think that when you're paying $1 billion, okay, right? We talk about last week. We tried to make the correlation of wrestlers aren't big enough to be sports teams, right? Where you know what I'm saying, but I think they are, right? You look at ESPN, Fox, NFL Network, Amazon. They pay $1 billion each to the NFL and say, we gonna get every fucking team. Fox, you just don't get this. Amazon, you just don't get this. I think USA and Fox are looking at Vince and WWE was like, hey man, I'm paying $1 billion to get the same 16 fucking people. No. I need a little bit of motherfucking shit to make this be special.
WWE is the NFL.
Like that's what
WWE is the NFL. NXT, Raw, SmackDown are the teams. These superstars are the players. That's how I look at it. That's the analogy I see. They're the play. Now, if they said, okay, we want the Eagles.
I want to see Lamar Jackson. I want to see Lamar Jackson on Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. I need to see that.
So that's what making them prime time. Okay, we got Roman Reigns. So we need, because that prime time game, we need Lamar Jackson. We're putting him here on our show on that date for our ratings. We need Roman Reigns on SmackDown on Fox every 8:00 on Friday. That's how I look at it. And with the business side of it all, I think that as the wrestling business continue to evolve, they are going to make more money. They are going to be more notoriety, but there are going to be more opportunities for wrestlers outside of the business. However, within the business, you are part of a team. Like you have to make it work out there on screen with somebody else. You can't just go out there by yourself and say we're gonna put on a show, but with yourself. I mean, but at the end of the day, they're doing great teamwork, on the show. So I think that's why you get these $1 billion. I think that's what it comes down to. These superstars have also been given great opportunity to do well. They're intertwining all the players, right? And the players are going out there and performing well. Now I haven't another sub storyline in Raw has been the Miz and Dexter Lumis stuff, and we haven't really been commenting on it. But what I will say is that it's also a filler underbelly angle that has been keeping the Miz busy, has been showing Johnny Gargano's personality, Dexter Lumis getting some time, and it ended up in having a ladder match where we have Bronson Reed return. So that, if after all that we get Bronson Reed, cool. Bronson Reed's back. Miz got some muscle on his side again, and he has some real muscle. It's not like he just got Damian Sandow or somebody else. You got some big horse, backing you up, and that gives makes the Miz a threat for anybody, including an Austin Theory or Seth Rollins. I think so.
I would like to comment on that too because.
He had Tommaso too, yeah, but still.
Well, okay, so this was shout out to the nigga Cameron Seahawk. You know what I'm saying? On Twitter, he had a tweet and pertaining to the Miz, and a lot of people are saying the Miz is a black hole to people in the, you know what I'm saying, and they bring up Miz Sandow and Alex Riley and the B team. You know what I'm saying? And okay, but those niggas weren't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest, like Bo and Curtis Axel and Alex Riley and Damian Sandow, that ain't the Miz fault. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's the Miz fault by a long shot, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, but to be honest, like you look at the Miz, he does elevate. He elevates niggas. Like Johnny's a great. I'm sorry, the Miz is a great person for Johnny to feud with. Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
great. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just said Dexter Loomis, the storyline, it ain't worth by the damn, but it is because it's told correctly. It's the Miz. It's supposed to be outlandish and stupid and fucking like it's a he's
I
a
don't
reaction.
mind it. I really don't mind it. It's better than having a listen. You got a whole show and you give me all this other stuff that I like. The 24/7 championship, it was like the worst thing ever for like the past earlier parts of this year, and they you can see that they didn't really care about it, but they were giving it so much time, and I was like, okay, if you're replacing that with this storyline, cool. Like this is better than the 24/7 championship. Like to me, so at the end of the day, if this was a low bar for Raw, then I'm happy. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like yeah, it's not for me. Like this angle was a little bit weird, but there were some funny moments. There were some moments, and more than anything, I like that Johnny Gargano's getting an opportunity to showcase himself because I think that he's a bit long-term player with WWE. I think he has potential to build a storyline. I think there's a potential. I hear there's rumors that they want to bring DIY back and link them up as a tag team when Tommaso's healthy. This could be interesting with the Miz and Bronson Reed. Who knows? I'm not a big Dexter Loomis fan, but hey, he's getting time too. I mean, maybe they see something going with him. I don't know where you want to go with that character. I think the character is very limited. Not that he's not a good wrestler or anything like that. It's just he's very limited because he doesn't
Well,
talk.
it's really not. I mean, again, this goes back to the culture and coaching and knowing your players and putting them in the best positions, right? I think a situation is looming where when and if the Miz can do some shit like Christian did with Luchasaurus, right? The Miz can build a fucking bodyguard protection of Dexter Loomis and Bronson Reed or whatever the case may be. And, I do think Dexter Loomis is a heel. More important, like
I would like to see him as a heel.
I think he's a
Honestly,
heel. I think so.
and they have not used him as a heel at all.
Well, I think that's the reason why one of the best baby faces. One of the best baby faces are the ones that I'm sorry. One of the best heels are the ones that are pretty good baby faces. So I'm essentially thinking that people are trying to build, or they're trying to build some type of emotion to Dexter Loomis before just bringing another monster per se, right?
I
Because
mean, how
we
you
see
get the
that.
emotion is by making somebody fear him first. To me, like you
Well,
don't put him in a love angle. Like I mean, people like
this
the
is not
index
on
thing.
Raw. This is not on Raw. This is not on Raw. This is we talking about on Raw. Like he ain't in no love
Time
angle
out, time out.
like
I'm
that.
talking about Dexter Loomis as a character, period. Because if you want to talk about, you want to keep it to Raw, fine. Let's keep it to Raw. The Miz, gave him some money and say, yo, stalk me and then give me some clout because of that, like as if the Miz needs it. Like it's a you are not impactful as a wrestler in that angle. You are a now it's about getting the money. It's cool. It's more of a comedic thing to me at this point, or a wacky thing. Whereas if he came in like a Kane or a type of character where he was literally trying to break into the Miz's house and threaten Maurice, and you want to turn the Miz a babyface in some facets, that would have been interesting because maybe we can get sympathy for the Miz because we have history with this guy, and Dexter Lumis is really trying to
But
take
what are we building? Why are we giving Miz? That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we giving Miz any with Dexter Loomis right now being attached to Johnny Gargano? I think that's more impactful than bringing in again another.
even if he took out Johnny Gargano, he's like, listen, we were friends, we were buddies, and and then he turns on him. Like, I think the threat of Dexter Loomis as a serial killer type of guy, I don't know what you want to call him now, because serial killers are not faces. They're not good people.
But
So if you to make him endearing is going to be very difficult. It's a hurdle to get over. I'm trying to say it.
They're doing that right now. You're just that's what I'm saying. Like
no, it ain't working. I'm sorry.
Well,
do you think it works? Do you think if you think it works, then that's my opinion.
Cheating. It's not working for you because
that's what I'm trying to say. Does it work for you?
No.
Is he like endearing? Is he
What I'm trying to tell you is, for me, I'm understanding you can't. You brought in Dexter Loomis as a threat. He kidnapped. We was like, oh, he's the stalker. Then you tell the story that he was bought. Okay, I'm listening to that. I'm telling you that if you keep Dexter Loomis as a person that's just stalking and kidnapping people, like what the fuck does that? He's a heel doing what babyface? That's what I'm saying. Right now, when Dexter Loomis turns on Johnny Gargano, it means something because they have a relationship and they've been building towards it. You're like, my thing is, if you don't want to care about it, then don't care about it. But
listen. I didn't mean to shit on this angle. I was actually trying to give it props. I mean, they had a decent ladder match. It was a Christmas thing, and they got Bronson Reed back. I was trying to get to the Bronson Reed thing and saying, like, so I'm glad to see him back and what they're doing and pivoting this shitty angle into something that actually had a payoff. At the end of the day, I think it's a shitty angle, and no one else got to agree. I think that it's just a bad idea to keep Dex Loomis as a babyface. No one has to agree. I think he has limitations as a babyface. I think that this is good for Johnny Gargano.
I just agree with you and said that yes, he has limitations as a babyface, which is he's a babyface right now with limitations. But what I'm telling you is when he turns heel, it matters to the people who don't ever fucking know Dexter Loomis, which is the people who don't fucking know Dexter Loomis. Like me and you know, like yes. But I think right now that they're doing a good job with telling the story of people who don't know that Dexter Loomis is a serial killer.
I get you. Hopefully they executed better than they did with Luchasaurus. I'll tell you that. Because if you're comparing the two, they fucking botched that to me. They don't need no Christian in this whispering in his ear. All right. So at the end of the day,
I do think at the end of the day, I do think it's going to matter. I think it's going to matter. You say it's a shitty angle. I understand you bring back the rumors of DIY. Okay, how do you get that? Like, do you get because Johnny Gargano has a tag team partner with Dexter Loomis, right? So he doesn't need if we're just looking at face value of what it is. Johnny has a relationship with Dexter Loomis. When he got attacked, Dexter Loomis and Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed and Miz is going to happen, right? We already see that happen. I'm saying it's going to pay off better when Dexter Loomis knocks Johnny Gargano from behind and we're like, oh shit, he turned heel. And then Miz gives him the cash. And now Dexter Loomis is a heel. Johnny Gargano, Johnny Gargano.
Because he lost his money now. Like, he's broke again. So
yeah, so I'm saying he needs to down back.
Yeah, all right. I feel you. I see where you're going with this. Yeah. All right, I see you. I followed you.
Yeah.
All right.
He got a contract, but he ain't got no money. Nigga, he lost $500,000.
And then we hear, then they're jumping him, and then No One Will Survive comes on. Miz and Tommaso have a stare down. I used to work with you. Yeah, all right. I see.
You see it. You see it. Now we care about Dexter Loomis and we don't care about Dexter Loomis.
If they do it that way, I'm with you, man. That's all. But all in all, trying to get to the point that that's like the least of Raw right now. I know, but even with the whole women's division, like they've kept Rhea relevant without having a title, without having a woman angle for a minute. Like her and Mia Yim had a small thing, and then she hasn't really wrestled any woman for other than that for a while. She had a War Games match, but
she's too big, boss. Not big, but she's too big of a presence to not be on any level that ain't hers. So
she owns it.
It needs to be Beth to make the return.
Yeah.
Charlotte or not Charlotte. I'm sorry. It needs to be Bianca, or she just need to play the cut with Judgment Day. Beth, Bianca, or play the cut.
Yeah. Which I like. I'm not, and I'm saying they really think about how many women we just named on the first half of this You know, we just talking Raw, by the way. We just named all like these women and that have been relevant. Even
ain't shit to
Asuka.
talk about on the women on SmackDown. Ain't not a
Huh?
fucking thing. Saying fucking thing to talk about on SmackDown.
Man, I feel bad for SmackDown woman. I think right now it's not as hot as it used to be. I hope Naomi comes back. You know, I hope we know. Hopefully, you know, I need one of these girls to be back. Come on. I know Sasha going to NJPW. We'll see what happens. But
Shout out to Sasha touching down and actually, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
reaching Japan. They talking about her and Kyrie Zane is gonna be motherfucking turning that shit. Turn it up!
yeah.
Yeah. So I can't. I just hope neither one of them motherfuckers get hurt because you know
The injury prone on both
nigga,
parts.
God, I don't know how American insurance works.
Listen, man, I don't want to. I don't want to jinx them, man. But yeah, shout out to Kyrie and Sasha. I'll be tuning in for sure on that front. But I'm just props to Raw for the women's division and how they keep everybody relevant. Not just them, the men too. It's just been recycling people in at the right time and keeping them hot. Even Dominic, like I think what they did to really keep him relevant with this whole Judgment Day is turned to the positive. Now for Judgment Day, there's going to be a huge payoff. Apparently, they're saying because at Royal Rumble. Now, I don't know if I want to talk about this because it's rumors, but if let me ask you a question: if the rumors are true and it's going to be Finn Balor as Demon versus Edge in a Hell in a Cell at the Royal Rumble, how you feel about that?
Man, just it keeps Finn relevant. It keeps Edge wants to Edge likes working with Finn. He's safe. Hasn't hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't Seth. You know, Seth is just that rough parent. You know what I'm saying? Like Seth just don't give a fuck, nigga. You know when
he's Cena, he's injured.
When he want to play Edge, Finn.
Did he injure Edge?
Oh shit! I don't know why Edge ain't here. Nigga, like, he's not being here at the wrestling Seth, nigga. I can tell you that.
Edge is just older and get some time away, you know, and then he'll come back in WrestleMania season. You know, I think that's what it was for. But I think I'm with it. I think that but what the bigger story in this to me, obviously the match could be cool, but the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view might be gone for a little bit, you know, and I like the fact that it's for a actual angle, which we got it earlier this year with Cody and Seth. And now they're not just waiting for the one time a year where we can do a Hell in a Cell. They're going to use it at strategic moments, and I think that's pretty dope.
Well, I think again, like you know, we're just talking about keeping people relevant, right? If we're gonna have Beth come back and make sure she neutralizes, you know what I'm saying? She neutralizes Rhea. If Dominic and Priest gonna end up being the tag team or some shit like that, I mean, Dominic really got some of the best teachers, right? Seth was his first match, right? Punishment Martinez and Prince Diva is his roadmates right now. Dre's his dad, clearly. You know what I'm saying? Like if Dominic don't, right? He's literally being nigga. If this is Bronny, right? With LeBron James is his dad.
That ass for real.
And Chris Paul is his uncles, nigga. Like D Wade just comes over for like you surrounded by just like you should be soaking up everything and being. So I think Priest and Dominic would be a great, you know, a great kind of tag team if Finn doesn't want to keep himself bogged down and being involved in the tag team or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, I think Edge and Finn, you know, again, if they're not going nowhere right now, so why not just, you know, why not have them niggas go after each other? You know what I'm saying? While we here, I know there ain't much to talk about on SmackDown, but I will say,
if you want to see SmackDown, we talked about it last week in our last pod. Obviously, we recorded after SmackDown last week, so just go back and watch it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna see the fallout of what happened on Raw and SmackDown last week. So,
with SmackDown, we gotta say before we move on to AEW, shout out to Hit Row, Top Dollar, and Adonis.
Tag team.
We'll have their first ever tag team championship match with the Usos this week. After winning a triple threat. Shout out to Top Dollar, man. You know, wrestling ain't easy. being on social media ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And niggas go get these fucking jokes off, whether you like it or not. But nigga, my nigga, let's stay away from the tope suicide.
Top dollar over the top rope.
Nah,
Not nada.
let's like exactly. Let's not have top dollar. Top,
Listen, man. I just hope he's healthy and safe because that was nuts.
And honestly, nigga, if you're gonna do it next time, man, just do like everybody else. Get your ass on the turnbuckle, climb the ropes, and jump off. Nigga, the fuck trying to what shit you trying to prove, cuz? That you motherfucking gotta do tope suicidas and shit, nigga. Moro ain't even there to fucking say Mamma Mia. The fuck you doing this shit for, cuz?
I mean, I know that people like Undertaker are like, no, he did not. Like, they're like, don't do it. Like, Big Show was telling him, like, why would you even try that? Mark Henry was like, yo, son, you're a big man. Why are you even thinking like doing this shit?
Bruh.
Like, you know, I said, and Undertaker will only pull it out like WrestleMania time. You can't just on a random SmackDown pull out the freaking guy.
Yo, we saw my nigga when Angelo Dawkins did that shit. He was like, my nigga, you been now listen, Top Dollar done it before. Like I'm not gonna act like yo, don't do nothing, you ain't try, you know, like Patrick Ewing as a nigga, he said, when you take that shot, when you practice taking that shot, nigga, when you ever took a one-legged shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've seen Top Dollar, he done it, but nigga, you ain't, nigga.
Even if he hit it, it's a risk. Like I think that if he hit it this week, like tag team championship match, like different, different moment than you know tag team qualifying match. Leaving it all out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, brother. But shout out to you though. You made it through that. Again, you know what I'm saying? Like you here, you healthy. You know what I'm saying? You didn't fuck no shit up. And niggas got those jokes off and you ain't deleted your Twitter. Cause niggas not as mean. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, also, wrestling fans, stop being so shitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all niggas make me and him delete her all the time.
They are going to be shitty. I think we've known at this. We've been trying to tell wrestling fans to be nice for years, and it's never going to happen.
Just don't say shit you know. You're not going to say it in person.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just like, bruh, that's it. Niggas was saying the foul shit that they was hearing at AEW in Texas. What you about to get into right now? They said that Jade and the baddies get some of the most foulest shit spewed at them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, for what? They like who y'all cheering for? Britt Baker?
But I'm gonna be honest with you. Wrestling has always been this way. If you're a heel, especially, but I don't think they should be taking there's certain things that you can't go too far with it. Like when you are, you know, being sexist, racist, all that types of shit. I mean, jokes about, you know, somebody, you know, botching something, you know, yeah, you make a laugh about it and then you can move on from it.
Exactly.
You know, but when it gets to like a personal attacks, you know, the Mia Yim thing, I mean, do I have my opinions on that photo? Of course I do, but I'm not going to go out and spew it online because it's not worth it. You know, it's not worth it. You know, granted, you know, like, hey, it's not my business. You know, she's friends with him. That's how they have their relationship. None of my business. You know, so I think that when they go on and they start to like pile on and it gets to like, oh, for calling people outside of their name, that's fucked up. And for talking about their personal life,
that's what I'm saying. It's shit that you wouldn't say to AM when you're trying to get an autograph. You did.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be like, hey, black motherfucking bitch, Asian bitch, sign my motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not
the same niggas that will try to get signed for something fine for you are talking shit, you know, and you know, to go. I mean, it's just wild. It's really, you know, there's a little bit of an element where I'm like, you don't look at these guys as humans, and I think that it's sad, but you know, it's just not, you know, it's not worth always telling your opinion. I mean, I think a lot of them are immature too. A lot of people are young. No, not granted, there are some 40-year-old guys and 30-year-old guys that are just, I don't know if they hate women or if they just hate certain people.
40-year-old niggas that just hate pussy.
I'm like, why would you? They definitely never had. Like, I don't forget. I'm not even getting to it.
I mean, we just gotta address some shit when we see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
it's just because I've been talking about this for years, and I'm like, I just don't get it. Like if you genuinely like wrestling, if you genuinely like women, there's certain things that don't come out your
That's what
mouth.
I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
like
If
I
you
mean,
like wrestling and you like women, now my thing is too, like all women ain't your cup of tea. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like even my wife, like, yo, I had this Jay. She don't say bitch, but you know what I'm saying? She be like, yo, I like Jay, but you like that like that muscle? I'm like, shit, like the thing that I think is like you can't like him big. That's what society say. You can't like him muscular. That's what society say. You can't like him tall. That's what society say. Like what woman do you like? This fucking stick
listen,
figure
here's what I was saying.
here, man.
Fuck society for
Come
one.
on.
Like what you like. Two, and the things that you don't like, shut the fuck up about. Like,
Man.
like
That's a
I
word.
think people
That's a word right
think that their
there, right?
opinion is so important. It's not. I know I got a podcast. I talk about my opinion, but fuck it. But my point is like, as far as like telling, oh wow, like I've been on this podcast. I told you like Manny put it this way, Manny Rose made $500,000 off of her fan site.
Because niggas
Apparently, allegedly,
like Mandy.
niggas love Manny. And I will admit she's a beautiful person, but she is not my cup of tea. Will I come on this podcast and just bash her because she's not like what I like in a woman? Absolutely not.
I'm gonna
You
tell
got to
you this.
recognize that.
If Jay had a motherfucking secret menu, sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me up. Matter of
Don't
fact,
tempt him with a good time, Jay. Don't
matter of
do
fact,
it.
I'm a fucking subscriber, nigga. I'm gonna be one of them niggas that when I chime in, she's like, hey, Chris, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Know you by name and shit. I'm a fan. I hear you.
and you get dicks for $25, and when she got fired, she said 40.
Oh my god, that's crazy. $40.
Yo. Oh man, but that's what I'm saying. These the same niggas that's paying Mandy to rate their dick.
Ridiculous. Like what you like, but if you don't like something,
Oh,
and if it's none of your business, don't speak about it. Like
man.
when we come to this podcast, we talk about the
Ah,
art form, the production, the storyline, the writing. I mean, that's what we primarily want to talk about here and on our podcast and all that stuff. Now, every now and then, there's a cultural issue or something that's going on in the world that we have to talk about. We just have to, and we got to give our honest opinions about. But people's relationships, people's appearances. Now, again, granted, I thirst over certain women all the time. Listen, y'all know Red Velvet is my cup of tea. That's my thing. Stir it up, But at the end of the day, it's all in good fun. I'm not gonna call anybody out their name and be a complete creep or a weirdo about it, But it's a thing that I think that is like almost hopeless. Like a lot of these guys are crossed over. The wrestling world crosses over with a lot of like nerd fandom, and a lot of nerds are like socially awkward, and they feel like when they're behind a screen, they can say whatever they want. Just think about when you play Call of Duty or like Halo or whatever online. If you hear that you're a black guy, they're gonna that N word's flying, no matter what. If you hear that you're a woman, you're gonna be called all types of different sluts and bitches and oh dumb bitch, oh fuck you, girl, like all this types of vitriol. And I think that this culture, you got to check themselves but what are we gonna do? Like this is how they think. I don't know why,
we do.
but
We check them. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I think as a lot of people in society, right? We talk about, that's not my business. That's not my place. You know what I'm saying? I think realistically, it is for us to continuously say, like, bro, especially if I'm there. Like, if I'm at a wrestling event, like, nah, man, like, shut the fuck up, chill out, watch your fucking mouth.
yeah,
like it.
you remember when that guy was talking that shit? I was about to pull up on. We were at Raw, and I was getting so mad because
it was New Year's. It was a New Year's Raw. It was New Year's Raw, like 2019.
Yeah,
yeah.
I shit. I was upset, yo. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. He was heckling another a security guard or something. It wasn't even like I don't know what the guy was doing. He's like, the wrestling has to get drunk and they just start talking. And I'm like, somebody needs to check these people. And I didn't want to cause a scene, so I didn't. But you're right. It's time that some people like us with some morals and types of like regular like human decency can just say, listen, yo, in person, cut that shit out. And then a lot of people, when you defend a woman, they like, oh, they think that you're trying to like sleep with them. Oh, they're not gonna fuck you. Like, dude, no, you don't have to want to sleep with a woman for to defend them. You don't have to like be a simp by saying, hey, don't talk to women this way.
Saying that it's hard to do it online and be like, yo, like watch your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Because now you involved and you engage. But like it is like, yo, if in person, yeah, man, like, like check yourself, nigga. Like we're not doing that shit here. Like niggas not gonna be looking at our section and thinking that, nah, nigga, cut that shit out, nigga.
When that Japanese woman killed herself because of all the online vitriol she got in wrestler, it hit me. Because I'm like, that's what we were talking about the entire time over those past months. I'm like, this is what we were talking about with Nia Jax and her leaving Twitter and all that stuff. That's what I was getting at. Like, this is mental health, guys. Like, you guys, they put their heart and soul into entertaining us, and then you guys use any little thing to criticize them, and like as if they owe you their personal life. Like, leave that shit alone. Like, it's cool that they post their, family photos and you know who's dating who. Cool. It's none of your fucking business at the end of the day. You're here to watch a wrestling show. And they don't get that.
With that being said, 2 women who fucking killed it, murdered it, that seem to be fetish light, right? You got people who combine anime and Japanese culture, shit like it. But Hikaru Shida is a motherfucking killer, dog. She a motherfucking killer, nigga. And Jamie Hayter, right? Somebody else that motherfucking niggas fantasize on and shit like that. She a motherfucking dog.
Yeah, they both
and again, we talk about women who put themselves out there, who are themselves, who are sexy and confident and strong and in their own way, in their own presence, who can go out and do their job as efficiently as anybody else.
That's what I find honestly the most appealing and about these women is that they go out there and do their job at a high level. Like when you see somebody go out there and do their job week in, week out, take their art and craft seriously. Now, neither Hikaru Shida or Jamie Hayter, they're both very beautiful women. I think that people thirst over them and all that. But the fact that they put on this match, physical, in the main event of AEW Dynamite, it's what I like to talk about. It's like that's what gets me going. It's like, yo, the women's division in AEW got some fighters, and they're still building. You're heating it up, and they got some real talent there. So, it's had its peaks and valleys over the years. And I think that is about to be heated up going into 2023. We got Britt Baker, cheering on her girl, Jamie Hayter, who pulled out the victory over Hikaru Shida in a physical competition. And they try to jump her, but we got Paige coming back out. Saraya, excuse me. Saraya interferes for the save.
Tony came out for the save too?
And Tony too, yeah. Tony Storm also came out for the save. So we got Hayter, Baker, and Reba, and you got Saraya, Hikaru Shida, and Tony on that one side. So that 6-woman tag is coming eventually. And honestly, this can go any way. This could go into a Hayter Saraya feud for the championship. This can go to a Britt Baker Hayter feud down the line. Who knows? But I like where they're going with it, and I want to give it time to breathe and give those girls a shout out because that match was one hell of a banger this week.
And I understand you giving certain stories again, not trying to this is not got you, but I can understand why to your preference and to your liking why you giving certain stories time to breathe. Listen, Dexter Lumis, Miz, Johnny Gargano, Monster, nigga, I'm not giving that shit time to breathe.
I breathed that in for 3 months already. I'm good. Like that was enough.
Hayter, Britt Baker, right? Saraya, right? That kind of Tony Storm, all of those, melting pots of gumbo have been cooking for some time, right? And we're still waiting on whether Britt Baker and Hater's going. Right? We talked about it. We mentioned it 6 months ago. Hater ain't never did that shit. Ain't never did that shit, cuz.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Tony Schiavone be sitting there and be like, you know what I'm saying?
DMD and Hater just sitting there like, whatever, man. Let me
That's
get my opportunity.
shit. That's her shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think with that being said though, having the tolerance, right? Like you say, we have the bandwidth, we have the capacity. Like you say, it's certain shit that I'm like, man, get on with the shit or get over it. With this, I can understand. You're like, get on with the shit or get over it. Or you can say, I see that there are things that are moving in the right direction that I particularly like, right? You know?
Especially when there's a great match. It gives me that leeway where it's like, yo, let me see what happens next. You know, like when you guys have a good match, if it was like Dexter Lumis and Miz put on like, I don't know, like a 5-star, like classic match.
They had a really good Raw ladder match, right? I think for it's not Jeff Hardy.
No, they did that. No, we're talking about that. Like I think that with that situation, the ladder match was good. Which I gave it props. I liked it. And then it led to Bronson Reed, returning and Miz getting his money back. I thought it was a good angle. I thought it was good. I think leading up to it though, there was like if there was a great match with Miz and Dexter, it would have given me more like, oh, let me see where this goes longer. I think that's what happened for me with AEW.
And I can understand you not wanting to see Miz continuously do the same thing for a month, right? He did 4 weeks straight, not wanting to get in the ring with that Lumis. I can understand that. I can like. But here's the same. We just put out a tweet.
It's him. It's first of all, it's him getting stalked and kidnapped. Then it goes to all right, the whole thing of what's really going down. Did he pay him off for weeks? 3 weeks, the guy goes by, and then it goes to all right, he did pay him off. All right, then boom. All right, then we have a match where okay, you take the money back. All right, match for the money. Dexter wins it. Match was not awesome. And then all right, now the match for both bags of money, and it was just like, all right, now I feel like this is the culmination. Like, I mean, I'm really done. I mean, if you do a tag match now, cool. We got Bronson Reed now, a little in there. I think we can see where it goes.
That's why I say. That's why I make a comparison of this, right? Of Jamie Hayter, not to do the comparison, because they won the title. We just talked about it last week. Like, nigga, what you doing with that championship? Who's her next challenger? Who's her next? Like, so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've been puttering around to see what's going to happen with Jamie. And I think right now, like, we are currently in that situation where.
And they gave it to us, they gave it to us in the main event. They said, hey, wait till the end of the show. Gave us a great, great match. And we'll see that, hey, she has challengers. And Ricardo Sheeta's still that she's still that vicious, first ever women's champion. She still can go. We still got Jamie Hayter kicking ass, as champion. Extremely a great powerhouse. I think that she's going to be good for a very long time. And I think she's still growing as champion. I think that Jamie Hayter honestly has a long way to go to become like the star that I think that she can be. But I feel like I see her as her reign right now is comparable to Rhea Ripley's first reign as well. Rhea Ripley can go in the ring, but who is Rhea Ripley? Now we got this whole, vibe with Rhea Ripley that's like she's a presence. Now Jamie Hayter, when she's in the ring with those 6 women, or she's on screen with those 6 women, she feels like maybe the third or fourth, as far as character.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, we're giving this time to breathe when the champion isn't necessarily the champion, right? We got Saraya, who's clearly the star, looming over. Britt Baker is still someone who is the star, not passing the torch, right? And Toni Storm is Toni and Jamie working are neck and neck.
I agree with you.
I just see more of Toni, right? I know more of Toni. Toni has a more high profile behind her. So that's what makes fucking Jamie as the champion fourth wheel. And how the fuck you do that? So I am allowing, again, both stories to kind of play themselves out.
And what I want for Jamie Hayter all in all is to get away from Britt Baker. I think that being around Britt Baker dims your light. especially as champion, because we know she's had it before. We all know. We all say the DMD stuff. Jamie Hayter has to find whatever that is that makes her Jamie Hayter, and the wrestling is great, but just like Tony Storm, she had to drop it to you because there's the wrestling was great, but you need something else, like you need to be able to talk in that mic and tell a story and make people say, "Oh shit, what's she say?" And speaking of people saying, "Oh shit, what's she say?" Take some lessons from Ricky Starks. People like that. That promo to start the show. Listen, man, AEW knows what they got in this guy. There's a reason why Ricky Starks starts the Dynamite episode after losing to MJF in the main event last week. Ricky Starks has that star aura about him. He's now officially gotten to that place where he stands alone and he can just go out there and beat Ricky Starks, and we just accept it. You don't need no Wahab, you don't need no Team Taz, and you know what he did? He got there as an AEW original without what? The Chris Jericho rub. Without the Chris Jericho rub, he got all the way here to being a huge star, and that promo
getting right now to become a huge star, the Chris Jericho rub. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Let's not
think about it. Everybody needed that. MJF, Sammy Guevara, who else? I mean, you can to some degree, Darby. All these people had a match or something with Chris Jericho or teamed up with him at some point. Orange Cassidy, like all these guys were AEW originals who worked with Chris Jericho at some point. And so Sonny Kiss, I mean not Sonny Kiss, Ricky Starks did not team with him at all, did not face him at all, and now he's here on his own with angles he built up with the freaking Brian Cages and the real Will Hobbs and the Hooks and people who were also trying to build their stardom, and he shined. So him opening the show with a mic in his hand was awesome to me. He had the crowd in the palm of his hands, and I thought one of the funny things he said is like he said that, listen, I like you, Chris Jericho. You know how to stay relevant, and that's what he was doing, staying relevant by attaching himself to the next hot thing. And he said a couple months ago, you came here looking like built like an air fryer. He said, built like an air fryer, and you now are dressed up like a dad on his 5th divorce. And he's like, listen, I like it. It's like the way he has a natural flow to his promo style. It just hits, man. And you got to give him the props. And then now we have him and Chris Jericho in an angle, which I think will keep him relevant, keep Chris Jericho relevant. But yeah, Ricky Starks got to get that W by all means necessary.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's imperative for you to get the Chris Jericho rub when Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho, right? Like I think first and foremost, there isn't a person on that roster that hasn't went through Chris Jericho.
I mean,
I'm just not Kenny Omega. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Chris Jericho. That's why Chris Jericho held the title. We talked about it, right? Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho, right? We know, like that name rings bells. Now, this is the thing. There isn't too many people that Ricky or who can go up against Ricky on the mic that will be inferior, right? MJF and Ricky, they can battle it out. Ricky and Chris Jericho, they can battle it out. Ricky and John Moxley can battle it out. I don't know nobody else that can really keep Ricky relevant on the mic. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where Ricky can go that can keep him going on the mic.
I mean, I think that this is the right space for Ricky. Don't get me wrong, but when I say that he did it without the Jericho rub, is meaning that he went all the way to a title match with the champion without Jericho ever being a part of his storyline for 3 years. Like that's a big deal when he was the biggest star in the company. And I think he did it like grinded it out himself. Like that's So yeah, now that he's already, I feel like has established himself as Ricky Starks, the absolute on his own star that he is, that can open a show with a microphone in his hand and nobody else is there in the ring. And now you give him Chris Jericho, this means much more than him having a match with Chris Jericho a year ago, 2 years ago, or even 6 months ago. So That's what I'm trying to get at, and I can't wait to see how this pans out. Honestly, because I think that both are very entertaining when given a mic in their hands. Both have, and I think that Ricky has to go over. So just giving more props to Ricky where he's deserved. Future champion, of course, because he has that star potential. We talked about him hopefully putting on more muscle if he can. I'm not sure if he gets the time to, but honestly, the schedule is very busy. But if he did put on muscle, like I think that's the only thing that keeps him from like being even like a WWE champion one day if he
No,
ever.
that's what he. That's literally what he. That I mean, there's no ifs to it. Like he needs to put on weight. Like it's what is it? Translucent, transparent. Which word I'm trying to go? This transparent when you look on translucent is you can see through it. It's transparent when you see it on television. When they did the promo of MJF and him, right? You can see what MJF did, right? You can see how MJF wanted to present himself. And Ricky the same way, like he wants to present himself to look like a star, to be a star, to talk like a star. But I think as far as like a champion, right? There is a certain element and a certain kind of like mass that you do have to kind of obtain to kind of take on that championship run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And not to say that he's in bad shape or anything. It just means that he can help you out with the presentation. That's all. And he's a great wrestler in its own right. But that spear will be looking a lot more devastating when he has that big ass shoulder, or has that weight on him.
It's Johnny Gargano hitting the spear on Brian Cage. You like, you know what I'm saying? Like Johnny Gargano, little ass, flabby ass nigga hitting the spear on big ass, bulky Brian Cage. And not saying that flabby, but he is. I mean, like, what are you? I ain't finna, kind of make a
this. Yeah, I mean, like the skinniest, like smallest champion you had in AEW is CM Punk. Now, granted, I always said that guys like Darby could get there based on his aura and who he is, because he is a daredevil in a sense. He has that kind of like X factor where he's like, oh, anything can happen, like a Jeff Hardy type. Other than that, like Sammy Guevara has like a supreme talent, but even him is like bigger than Ricky Starks to some degree. I would say that it does matter. I don't think it's like a bad thing to say.
Yeah,
but
we ain't trying to sound like the bitches, but size does matter, cuz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Because I want him to succeed. I want him to be, and he's going to, regardless. I granted, but like when you have that presentation of size and you can talk the way he does, that's generational talent that can be a disruptor on any promotion that he goes to, including WWE. Where when WWE looks at him, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, we can put you up against Seth Rollins or Sheamus or a Drew McIntyre, and it's not like you're like outclassed." We don't. It doesn't look like why is this guy facing this guy? Like when you watch wrestling with your girl, sometimes you're like, oh, why would he put that little guy against this big guy? It's like you're like, just shut up, man. It's just wrestling. Like just just watch the match. But this is what they're talking about. They have a point. But they have a point.
Like, why does match go so long? He should be beating that little nigga ass. You like,
yeah. It's just facts. Like this is what we go through, bro. But I think that if you can relate, you can relate. But that's what I'm saying. I'm getting to that general audience viewership that says, oh, that guy is bigger than that guy. That guy should win. And if Ricky Starks puts on a little bit more size, you say, oh, I can see how he can pull it out.
Exactly.
I can see. I can believe that he can figure something out. Maybe be crafty and win against Brian Cage or Will Hobbs or even if he just bigger size behemoths, because his mouth is going to get him into a lot of trouble.
Speaking of behemoths, we gotta go. Well, I'm sorry. You gave me this segue.
Go ahead.
We gotta talk about big motherfuckers. Okay. we gotta talk about big motherfuckers. That segment of Rick, Keith Lee, Swerve, Chef Kiss.
I liked it.
Chef Kiss, my nigga. I love being back in the realm of unpredictability, right? Because I'm pretty sure, just like everywhere else, you get a brief. What you can do, what you can't do, what you can say, what you can't say. And that nigga Rick Ross did everything but smoke a blunt on TV. That nigga did everything but motherfucking hit the biggest blunt on motherfucking Turner Network. That nigga came out there. You know what I'm saying? Had on the motherfucking OG Averex motherfucking jacket.
Yeah, I saw Averex. I was like, whoa.
Leather and cows got killed to put that on that. Right? But I know that ain't no vegan leather, nigga. But it might
Rick Ross has not seen many guys bigger than him.
No.
Apparently. Because on that microphone, he told live on air, on TNT, straight to Keith Lee, you a big motherfucker.
You a big boy. You a big motherfucker. That nigga Keith Lee went over to the other camera like, I did not tell him to say that.
Me.
Was it on me? Do not take that out my paycheck, nigga.
Damn, son. Yo, don't find me. That wasn't me.
Yo, it did. He did cut a promo at the end. Hold on. I gotta play it. All
right, bet.
I gotta play it on the joint. I think I sent it. Oh my gosh, nigga. He motherfucking Big Ugly. No. What do you call that? What do you call my nigga? Hold on, I'm about to
that should be a drop.
Huh?
That should be a drop.
Oh, nigga.
You a big motherfucker.
You a big motherfucker. Oh, shit. Okay, here it is. These niggas is leaving. So Swerve.
What just happened out there?
That was Limitless, baby. Really, we shoveling out the stall. It's time to get to the money. Big Funky, a.k.a. Keith Lee. He had all the opportunities at the point. Rocking with the legend. He didn't take advantage of it, but we here now. We taking advantage of the whole game. We coming to take over the whole game. All you know me for is one thing, and that's winning, getting big money. Ain't no more friends, so let Big Fat Funky know ain't
no.
No, man. Rick Ross did his thing, man.
Big Fat Funky, bro.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, man. Listen, Rick Ross managing. I hope we see more of him. But him managing the mogul affiliates. Oh man, I'm loving it. I mean, listen, I told you last week with Swerve and the Keith Lee situation. I'm like, you know what? After ROH Final Battle, I'm on Swerve's side. Fuck that dude. Like you gave, like you said, you gave him many chances to, ride with you and build with you. But it's over now. And finally we get to see the Keith Lee Swerve clash we've been waiting for. I've been waiting to see this since NXT, bro.
Yeah.
Since NXT. And I can't wait for it. I think that there's some substance behind this angle now. There's a reason to have the match. There's a storyline behind it that we all into it. We all know Keith Lee's health situation. I hope he's doing well, and thank God he's wrestling again and doing well. But it was his chest that he stomped on with the center block, and that plays into the angle. If Keith Lee comes back with a vengeance, like, listen, bro, you know my history, you know my health concerns, and you try to stomp my chest out after everything I've told you, after everything I've been through with you. All right, the bear, not the Bearcat, but the Limitless is gonna be let out now. The ruthless Keith Lee. Yeah. Put your paws up.
Listen, honestly, that And that was the only thing you know what I'm saying. Keith Lee,
it was a good show, man.
it was a good show. Shout out to FTR and the Ass Boys, you know what I'm saying? I like the progression of that. Ass Boys got a big win over FTR. Like I said, man, you know, Will Hobbs, we spoke of Will Hobbs, you know what I'm saying? The Book of Hobbs.
I missed that angle. I don't know what. I watched the whole show. I'm like, wait a minute, where's Will Hobbs? I was literally sitting in front of the TV. I must have been like looking at my phone or something. But what was that?
It was a man. It was, you know, he did another thing about, you know, who he is, and he coming to take blood that's been shed of his, you know what I'm saying? My thing is that, man, Hobbs and Joe and Warlow still got some shit going on. I need to kind of. I just want to be able to see Hobbs in the light of like we wanted to see Bobby, same type of way, like just straight viciousness, straight type of just like, nah, nigga, we getting it. We getting it how we get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Hobbs as a future TNT champion, not much less he's a future AEW champion.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, so I think that as long as he's with the company, doesn't leave it or anytime soon, and he's like willing to build with this company, he's gonna get better and better. So yes. I want to go back and watch that promo because I was really when they promo packaged it and said it's gonna come up, I was like, all right, bet, you know, but I might have missed it. I might have fast forwarded through. I don't know, but something must have skipped on it. But Hobbs, more power to you, bro, and we can't wait to see more from you.
Shit. Anything else?
Anything else? Next year, listen.
The Jets and Jaguars tonight, so I ain't gonna keep you too long.
Yeah, that's coming up. My Jets been letting me down lately. It's crazy. But hey, we're doing a lot better than people thought we would be doing this year. And we'll figure it out. Honestly, if we can pull out this victory, we are going to have a lot of better chance to make the playoffs.
As far as wrestling goes, shit, I think we covered everything.
Man. Book and Black, Keith Lee, Swerve, Clashing of the Titans
Man, we done booked this shit so many times.
Yo. That's it. Business and Logic, man. Keep doing great shit. Keep writing. Keep fucking doing surprise angles with Rick Ross and shit. Keep the shit going, Trips and Khan and Tony Khan.
Nah, we got Nick in there too, man. Nick, keep getting those dollars, man.
Yeah, Nick Khan.
He getting Bianca and Sheamus and Drew and Street Profits, all these commercials and shit, Dollar General and Snickers and shit like that. Nigga, keep getting my niggas the bag.
Business and Logic. We got a reality show coming up. We got Bianca Belair is gonna have her show with Montez Ford, another bag in his own self. You know, they've been recording their own reality TV show. So applause to them for getting that show.
I'm watching that shit just like Miz and Mrs.
Miz and Mrs. Exactly. So you get to see another element of them. So yeah, you know, there's a lot going on. Next week, we're gonna give you our best matches of the year, best wrestler of the year, best male wrestler of the year. You know, we'll talk about our comeback player of the year. We'll talk about our, rookie of the year. You know, all that stuff we're going to talk about next year in our final episode of Reasonable Wrestling Podcast for the year of 2022. So stay tuned. And while you're at it, check out eiwshop.com because it's about to be the end of our sale, our holiday sale to cop our Everything is Wrestling hoodie or t-shirts, $10 tees, 50% off the hoodies. Check it out. Support us at eiwshop.com. Link should be down in the bio. Anything else that you would like to say before we cut this pod short?
Shit, sure. Shit, we went 1 hour and 30. Nigga, ask my wife. That's longer than any time I went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not that great. It's not short at all. It ain't a marathon, it's a sprint.
Short, nigga. Yeah,
oh man.
Oh, God, no. No, man. Listen, I want everybody to just have a Merry Christmas first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Or a
Yes.
Happy Hanukkah or a Happy Kwanzaa. You know what I'm saying?
Happy holidays.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you celebrate, just make sure you keep it. So I know it's difficult during this time, season of depression. Everybody going through their own thing. People find ways to be happy during this time because there are a lot of things not to be happy about. But I do want to just spread some type of positivity towards whatever it is that you're going through to let you know that shit, we going through some shit too. You know what I'm saying? And what it is that if you have the outlet or you have the ability or you have places and spaces and people that you can go to kind of be able to spiral some of those things to kind of straighten yourself out and get you back onto a path or a journey where you can achieve happiness, do so. Because I know this is a time where a lot of people just kind of, call it quits. And
Yo,
you know what I mean?
there's so, you touched on something because the holidays are very tough time for people, especially when you have expectations of things in life and you're coming to the end of the year, coming to the time where you'll be around family. If you're not, it'd be very hard. Or if you're, just went through a breakup, who knows, lost a job, whatever it may be, understand that there is love out there. I come on this pod and I say every single week, all is love and everything is wrestling. There will be challenges and those times. If you're listening to us, listening to this, wrestle through that. Hopefully we can give you a little bit of entertainment on this podcast and you guys can laugh at some of our takes. But we do this, for us, but also for you guys who want to just come in here and, just hear some guys talk some shit about wrestling and have a good time. So happy holidays to you and those listening to us and supporting us all these years. And if you are going through a tough time, reach out to somebody that loves you and reach out to somebody who you trust. If not, write down in a journal, do some meditation, do whatever it is to get you back to your center. And, and just stay strong. And for those who are having a great holiday, keep on enjoying it. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe. Continue if you follow your happiness and you are. Make sure again, this is all about balance. Like Chief just said, everything is wrestling. We are wrestling with something every day, right? You know what I'm saying? And everything correlates to wrestling. And if you look at the way politics is, the way that sports is, everything is wrestling. That's why we have that. So, but also we are finding ways to get those victories, right? For those
Absolutely.
who are compiling victories and those who are on their championship run right now, and those who are currently on their mountaintop, we tell y'all keep striving, keep going, keep finding motivation within what you're doing to make it so that you don't fall off. Because when you do, you might not know how to fucking deal with that. So if you don't want to deal with that, you got to keep winning. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
It's wrestling, all is love, and my best Cheaty impression. Make sure y'all have a happy holidays. It's the Most High. Cheaty Bang. We out.
Peace.
I can't end the podcast.